Hi, I'm Donna. This will be a very gentle class to ease your lower back. You might need a blanket or two and get those ready, and we'll begin laying down on your back. Have your legs parallel and your feet parallel. And just let your body start to relax your belly, your back, your shoulders, chest, neck. Noticing each breath. And bring your focus to your lower back. See if it's pressing into the floor, or if you let it relax so that little back arch lifts slightly away from the floor. But no need to hold any tension there. There might be tension if you have a little pain in your back. Just taking notice. I'm going to just gently let the legs fall a little to the right, not all the way down to the floor, a little to the left. It's rolling across the sacrum. The sacrum is that flat bone at the base of the spine, fits into the pelvis. Feel the joints either side of the sacrum. It's triangular in shape. And if it feels okay, you can let your legs go a little bit further. But the rest of the body really relaxed. Just enjoying this time you've made for yourself to focus on your back. Good, and we'll come back to center. You're going to bring your right leg in and squeeze it into your ribs. Just notice what that feels like in your body. Might feel nice. Might highlight a little bit of tension. Straighten your leg as straight as you can. You're going to bring your leg slowly down to the floor. And as you start doing that, you'll feel the front core start to help lift that leg, but keep the chest relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Good. Do that a couple more times, just squeezing in. Just finding out how your back feels with these movements. Letting the front core engage to take the leg down to the floor. Really relaxed in your shoulders and your chest. One more. Good, and then back to legs parallel, feet parallel. Squeeze your left knee in. Straighten your leg. And let that leg down to the floor. And again, we want to have a sense that you can feel the front core holding the leg as it goes down slowly, but you're relaxed in your chest, your face, your throat. Good, couple more. Squeezing the left leg in, straight as you can, lowering down nice and slow. This awareness at the front left core, lowering your leg. Last one. Can you sense your lower back still lifting slightly away from the floor? Good, and then release. Back to feet parallel, knees bent, legs parallel. Upper body really relaxed. Good. You're going to press your lower back into the floor now and let the belly hollow completely. And then lift your lower back away from the floor. Keep your hips on the floor, your sacrum on the floor. Lift as high as you can and let the belly be nice and spacious. Good, and then exhale. Lower back reaches into the floor. Belly presses to the lower back. Couple more. Inhale. Nice spacious front core. As you exhale, really press your lower back into the floor. Let your belly hollow, even squeeze your belly muscles. Good. One more. Good. And then just back to your natural shape of your lower back, arching away from the floor. However your abdomen feels, with a nice deep breath, chest relaxed. Good. You're going to take your hands and put them underneath you, either side of your sacrum, so they're under the buttock muscles, just for a little bit of support there. You're going to keep your lower back lifting a little away from the floor, but squeeze your belly to meet the lower back. Good. And you're going to try this. Just take right foot just off the floor. And if you can take the left foot off the floor, it doesn't hurt your back. Do both legs together. Otherwise, just one leg at a time. Good. Now, the further we drop the knee away, the more work for the front core. So if you're just doing one leg, it'll mostly be feeling it in the right side of the front core. But remember, keep everything else relaxed. Good. So if you're doing both legs, you're dropping them away, just holding, lower back slightly lifting, but the front core really pressing. Good. And then come back, just rest your feet onto the floor again, completely relax. The natural shape of your spine, your belly. Good. And then the second side, or both legs together again. So this time you're just lifting up your left foot. You're dropping the knee away from you. Good. Just seeing where that switches on if you're doing both legs together. Just dropping the knees away, your feet are off the floor. But don't do that if it feels too strong on your back. Listen to your back, to your belly. Good. Just feel where the core presses. Good. And then release. Okay. And you can repeat either one leg each side or both legs together. But you don't want it to be too strong around the heart, in your throat. Really try and make it your front belly that's doing the work. Even squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. Lower back lifts slightly. Front core reaches in to support the lower back. Keep breathing. Good. And then release. Good. And your last side, if you were doing legs separately or legs together, just lift the feet off the floor. Drop the knees away from the torso. Squeeze the front core to support the back core. So your legs are a little bit bent, your feet are off the floor if you're doing both legs together. Good. And then release. Bend your legs again. Feet are onto the floor, parallel. Take your hands out. Great. And just bring your hands onto your belly. Press your lower back into the floor. Feel the belly recede, hollow. And then inhale, lift your lower back away from the floor. Feel the space in your belly. Exhale, press your lower back into the floor. And inhale, just back to your natural shape. Explore what that is. Feel what the shape of the arch is of your back away from the floor. Meanwhile, your shoulders are relaxed. Feel the shape of the breath in your body. And then just dropping the knees a little to the right, across the sacrum, a little to the left, across the sacrum. You can go stronger if that feels really nice. You can let them drop all the way to the floor. Might feel a little strong if your back is tender. Just do what you need. Good, last side. And coming back up to center. And because it's a very gentle class, let's roll carefully to the right side. So bring your knees together, roll over to the right. And we're going to lift up and come into cat stretch. So an all fours position. We're going to continue with that theme of lifting and dropping the lower back. Finding that forward and back movement all the way along your spine. Place your fingers so you have wide, even spaces. Press the fingerprints, the base of the index fingers. And simply moving the spine forward and back. You're making a rainbow shape and then a valley shape. Good. Now find the neutral position of your spine. Maybe the spine sinks down to the floor a little bit. Maybe the weight of the belly pulls the spine down. Just assess what feels really comfortable for your back. So find a better position or the best position you can. So that might be using your front core to lift up, squeeze the front core to the back core support. Let the spine feel nice and long. And then we're going to ease the right hips out to the right. So right hips are moving towards the right shoulder. And look over your right shoulder. Come back to center. Ease the left hips out to the left or towards the left shoulder. Turn to look over your left shoulder. Good. Inhale back to center. Right hip, right shoulder. Inhale. Left hip, left shoulder. Good. So now we're exploring that sideways movement. Discovering what feels really easeful in your back or what might be highlighting some tension. Good. And then back to center. And take child's pose wherever it feels comfortable for your knees. So if it's too strong to take your hips back onto your feet, you can leave your hips higher. But you want to just be able to rest the upper body down towards the floor. So hands where it's comfortable for you. If your hips go easily onto your heels, you might like taking your hands back beside you. And letting go, letting the back of the body be broad. Good. And then we're going to lay down on the mat, onto your belly. So you're going to ease yourself down. And you need room out the front and out the back because we're going to reach the arms out. Okay, so just reach your arms all the way out. Nice, big stretch. Good. Keep your legs parallel, tops of the feet onto the floor. Squeeze your kneecaps away from the floor. Good. And then you're going to lift your forehead off the floor. Your right arm's going to lift and your left leg lifting. And see if you can reach them. So you want to lengthen your lower back as you lift. And then laying back down. And then left arm lifts. And right leg lifts. Good. And then laying back down. Keep going in your own time. Look for the length in your spine all the way to the base of the skull. So don't squash the back of your neck as you look up. So it's alternate limbs lifting. So if your right arm's lifting, it's your left leg lifting. Good. And then release. Take your arms back beside you. Turn your face to one cheek. Just let your upper body relax. Good. And we're going to repeat. Take your arms out in front. Nice big stretch again. So legs are parallel. Press the tops of your feet. Lift your kneecaps. Good. Now you can either keep going, lifting your right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, or try lifting both. And we're going to keep the back of the neck long. Exhaling as you lower down. Nice inhale, that big breath to lift the limbs. Lift as much of your front body off the floor as you can. So if it's too strong, lifting all 4 limbs at the same time, remember you can do 2 at a time, opposite sides. Nice work. This time, bring your forearms onto the floor. So your hands are under your shoulders. You're going to rest your forehead onto the floor. Good. I'm going to lift the breastbone off the floor. You don't want to lift so high to start with that you just feel like you're digging into your lower back. So we just want to lift and feel the muscle of your back lifting so that you're light in your hands. You're not really using them, they're just resting here. Good. Draw your shoulder blades back. So we don't want the ears squashed or the back of the neck feeling squashed. So shoulder blades reach back. Legs are parallel. Press the tops of the feet. Squeeze the knees. Good. We're going to try and reach the left ribs a little further forward. The right ribs a little further forward, but keep the shoulders back. So don't use your shoulders to lift your ribs. Left ribs a little further forward. Right ribs a little further forward. And lay down. Take your arms back beside you. Completely relax. Turn your face to your cheek, opposite cheek. Just letting go. Good, and then hands back onto your forearms, or hands under your shoulders. Good. Head onto your forehead. Press your tops of your feet. Squeeze your kneecaps. Good, and then we're going to lift up again. Just see if you can use your back rather than using your hands. So just let the hands be really resting. Draw the shoulder blades back. Keep the back of the neck long, but lift the breastbone. Good, and we're going to keep lifting just as high as your back wants to go. So some people are going to lift right up onto straight arms, and some people are going to keep your forearms down onto the floor. But listen to your back here. And we're going to keep trying to reach the left ribs forward and then the right ribs forward, left ribs forward, right ribs forward. But we don't lift the shoulders, so keep the shoulder blades back. Having in mind the feeling of a snake moving. We're finding that back bending movement in your spine, but also that gentle side to side. So continue lifting. Good. And when we start to reach forward, keep the ribs moving side to side. And then turn your face to the opposite cheek. Take your arms back beside you. Let your back really, really relax. Letting go. Good. And then we're going to press up into cat stretch again. So hands underneath the shoulders, pressing up into all fours. Good. Keep your hips straight over your knees. Walk your hands forward. Good. Keep the shoulder blades wide, collarbones wide, and bring your forehead down towards the floor. Chest starts moving towards the floor. Enjoying the feeling of the breath. In your lungs here, your ribs nice and wide. Back of the neck long. Good. And then releasing and walk your hands back. Okay, we're going to tuck the toes under. And you want to try and keep your femur bones parallel to each other, your lower legs parallel, so your feet are hip width. And this might be a really strong movement for some people's feet and ankles. So you can keep your hands onto the floor for support, or you can start to gently bring your body weight back over your heels. You might even be able to get your hands up onto your legs. Just see how your toes and feet feel. Okay, so if it feels just way too strong, support yourself forward. Otherwise, you can rest over your heels for a moment. Good. And then we're going to come all the way up to standing. So we're going to come up to standing. So just make sure your feet, hello Coco, she decided to join us. Your feet are hip width. Your legs are parallel. Good. You can take your arms up, look up. And as you exhale, just bend your knees. You're going to bring your hands onto your knees. So a little forward bend. And just make sure you can still make a a rainbow shape with your back and a valley shape. I'm going to do a couple of those. Good. Finish off with a valley shape. You're going to straighten your legs, lift all the way up, lift your arms up, look up, little back bend. Good. Tadasana with your feet under your hips. Good. Lift the front of the legs. Let's put one hand on your belly, one hand on your lower back. So we want to find the optimum position for your spine. And using the front core to support the back core is so important for your spine health. So try the valley shape, try the rainbow shape. So exaggerate the movement. And somewhere in there is the perfect position just for this moment. Really use your legs strongly so your back doesn't have to do that work as well. Shoulders relaxed, head easily balanced. Good. And then we're going to take the arms out to the side, look up, Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, supported Uttanasana. So bring your hands onto your knees. If you easily reach your elbows onto your knees, do that. Some people might easily reach the floor. But you want to be able to keep your legs bent, parallel, and make your rainbow shape, valley shape. Look forward. As you exhale, squeeze your belly into the rainbow shape. As you inhale, let the belly be nice and spacious. Good. Hold the valley shape, so lower back reaching forward. We're going to straighten the legs, lift the arms up. Really powerful lift in the front of the legs to help your back bend as you look up. Good. And as you exhale, Tadasana. So really make the legs work. So lift the front of the thighs, lift the front of the hips. So your back doesn't have to do that work as well. Just let it lift and match the front core to the back core. Find that really optimum position for your back. Notice how that feels. Good. We're going to come forward again, look up. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, bend your knees, keep your legs parallel, reach to where you can reach to. Hands onto the knees, elbows onto the knees, or reaching forward into Uttanasana. Keep your knees bent. Valley shape, look forward. Rainbow shape. Squeeze your belly. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, arch your spine up. Good. Ease your spine forward. Inhale. You're going to hold that. And now wherever you are, hands on the floor, knees, elbows on the knees, you're going to try and keep the lower back easing forward, nice and long, and straighten your legs. Maybe if they don't want to straighten, just try doing one at a time. Good. So we don't have the rainbow shape trying to straighten the legs because otherwise it's going to pull on your lower back. We're looking for ease here. So really making your valley shape. Good. Neck nice and long, relaxed. Good. And then bend your knees. So roll your spine up, bone by bone, all the way up, arms up. Good. And as you exhale, Tadasana. Feel the powerful lift in the front of the legs. Front and back core working to lift the spine. Great. You're going to bring your hands in front of your heart and take a nice big step forward with your right leg. And try to have your feet about hip width distance apart. And we're going to have the back toes pointing forward. If you're really wobbly on your balance, you can turn that heel down to the floor. But I like to give a really even stretch in the back legs. So see how you go. We're going to have the hands at the heart. Lift the breastbone. Bend the knee, not in front of your ankle. So try and keep it right on top of the ankle. But see if you can make that rainbow shape and valley shape with your lower back again. Okay, so we're arching the spine back, arching the spine forward, and then we're going to keep the spine arching forward, lift the breastbone, really press the back heel, lift the front of the left hip, draw the shoulder blades down. And if you have your balance, take your arms up by your ears. Virabhadrasana 1, shoulder blades reach down. Whole spine looks up, so don't squash at the back of the neck, keep space there, keep breathing. Good, and release your hands. Good, and you're going to spring the front foot back, so you're standing at the back of the mat. Strong legs, supporting that lift of your spine. Good, bring your hands in front of your heart. Nice big step forward with the left leg, landing as lightly as you can. Press your back heel. Good, so when you bend your front knee, don't put the knee in front of the ankle, keep it right on top. Good, so we want the knee bent, so have enough space front to back, and then see if you can make your almost rainbow shape with your spine, valley shape with your spine. You'll feel the front of the right hip works differently with both of those shapes. Good, so we're going to ease the spine all the way forward into the valley shape. Press the right heel right down to the floor. Good, if you're very wobbly here, remember you can turn the right heel in, otherwise we'll keep the hips facing forward. Good, and if you have your balance, take the arms up, reach up. Shoulder blades reach down, spacious at the back of the neck. Feel the whole spine looking up. Strong back leg. Strong front leg. Squeeze the pelvic floor, lift the belly. Good, and then release. Hands back in front of your heart and get a little swing so you can spring back to standing at the back of the mat. Release your arms. Tadasana. So lifting powerfully the front of the legs, the front of the hips. Lift the belly, lift the lower back. Relax your shoulders. Good. Bring your hands in front of your heart. You're going to take a really big step forward with your right foot. Hopefully we're facing each other. All right, turn your toes out. And what you're going to do is just bend your right leg. Okay, and your toes should go in the same direction as your knees. So just adjust your feet so toes match knees. Good. And then if you have to move that foot to do the other side, do that. Okay, but we want the toes to follow the knee. So just let your knee fall out where it wants to go to. Good, and we go from side to side. Good, so the leg that isn't bent, so if you can get your other leg really straight. Good, and then we're going to face forward. Sorry, finish off on the last side. Facing forward. We're going to turn the feet forward this time. So nice wide position, feet a little bit wider than your leg is long. Good, and we're going to forward bend again. Put your hands onto your knees, but bend your knees a little bit. Okay, so you're sitting your bottom back behind you. Good, and see if you can make your rainbow shape with your spine, the valley shape with the spine. Good. We're going to finish off with the valley shape. Good. And you're going to just wiggle a little from side to side, lengthening left ribs, right ribs. Keep the spine moving forward. Good. Now you might be able to come a little lower onto your legs, so maybe you can get your elbows onto your legs, your hands onto the floor. Otherwise, just hold where you're able to reach to. Still lengthening the spine, undulating the spine. Good, and then we're going to start straightening one leg and then the other leg. Just let the spine go with that movement in your legs. So not pushing, just finding what feels nourishing. Good. And then finishing off with lower back reaching forward, lifting your kneecaps, lifting your quadriceps, lifting your sit bones, reach the breastbone forward, reach the top of the head down towards the floor. Prasarita Padottanasana. Good, and to lift up, bend your knees. You can bring your hands up onto your knees for a little bit of support. Start to lift the spine, squeeze the pelvic floor, squeeze the belly. As you lift all the way up, bring your arms up, starfish. Look up. Good. Bring your hands back in front of your heart. And we're going to try to step to the back of the mat. So just turn your feet to face the front and try that little bit of momentum to spring back, landing lightly, feet under your hips, legs parallel, Tadasana. Good. And we're going to lay back down onto the floor. Grab a blanket and just put that across your mat. Okay, so the blanket is to put under your hips. So we're going to lay down first. And then just lift your hips and put that in underneath. So the higher the blanket, the stronger the feeling in your back. And if it feels too strong, just get something lower. It could even just be a rolled up towel. So just pause the video for a second to do that. But what we want to do is just get a different feeling in your back above the sacrum. So where the sacrum joins your lower vertebra. And let that part of the body feel nice and heavy and relaxed. Feet are parallel, of course, legs parallel. Looking again for tension. And when you find it, seeing if you can let that go. Sometimes the tension you find is your body's protective mechanism. So looking deeply at how your back feels, whether this is pleasurable or highlighting tension. And let go where you can. Letting go of what is not necessary in your body. And for some, it might feel nice to make this a little bit stronger. You can do that by taking the legs out to straight. But if that pulls too strongly in your lower back, then keep your legs bent. You can just let your legs all the way out and even take your arms loosely folded overhead. So if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, then a higher support under your hips might be what you need. But let go. Even the legs can roll out. Hands unlinked. Good, and then bend your legs in and your arms, and you lift your hips so you can take that support out now. Good, so we'll settle the back onto the floor again. And put your arms down beside your body so your palms are facing down. your feet are parallel, the legs are bent, and we're going to lift the back off the floor. So lift your back off the floor as high as you can along your spine, maybe right up near the shoulder blades. Just notice if that feels difficult or where it feels nice. Okay, watch the legs don't fly out to the side, so really keep the femur bones parallel so your hips are aligned. Try adding by pressing firmly into your feet, really feeling the connection there, and lengthening the front of the thighs, lengthening the front of the hips. But keep the neck nice and long, throat relaxed. Good. And then lowering down. Good. And then really just relax your spine into its natural shape. Good. And then repeat. Try curling your tailbone up, then the lower back, then the middle back, then the shoulder, between the shoulder blades. And then when you get as high as you can and you lengthen your neck, relax your throat, see if you can press into your feet, lengthen the front of the thighs, lift the hips. Good. Strong as you can, keep your legs parallel. And when you roll down, you want to roll down bone by bone. So upper back, middle back, lower back, and completely relaxing. Find the natural shape of your spine, those elegant curves. Belly relaxed, legs relaxed. Great. Last one, you can repeat what we've just been doing. If you want to try something a little higher, you can move your feet in closer. So when you lift up, there's a little more room to lift higher. Good. And you might even be able to fit your hands in underneath your waist or your pelvis. Keep your elbows in, about as wide as your shoulders. Your legs stay parallel, of course. Don't do this if it's too strong on your wrists. Just do the lift with your hands relaxed. Neck is long. Throat is relaxed. Good, and then release. Releasing your arms. Great. And we're going to take the legs into the chest, rock a little bit from side to side. And let your back ease. The closer you bring your knees to your chest, the higher along the spine you'll massage. So if you have your knees further away, that's more around the sacrum. So just notice what feels nice for you. Do that. Good. And then bring your feet back down onto the floor, inside edges of your feet together, knees together. Bring your arms out, make a little space at the sides of your body. Lift your hips, swing them left. Take your knees to the floor on the right. Now, if reaching the floor is too strong for your back, you can take that blanket, roll it up as long as you like. Oh, got to fly. So you can do your twist, supported or unsupported, whatever feels really good for your back. Discovering where the tension resides. Letting go of what is unnecessary. Good. Then squeeze your front core and your pelvic floor to lift the legs. So you're supporting your back as you move. Good. And recenter. Lift your hips, swing them to the right. And knees are going to go towards the floor on the left. So remember, you can put padding under your knees if they don't reach all the way to the floor, if that feels uncomfortable. And if your back is really tender, you might need to have your knees quite high. So do listen to your back. And then facing over your opposite shoulder. Letting go of tension that you don't need. Good, and then coming back up to center. Good, legs parallel, feet parallel. Letting your back find its natural shape. And then you can choose, you can either lay out straight for Shavasana, you might like to add in a Shavasana video, or take legs up the wall. And legs up the wall, it's nice to have a blanket. You can use the blanket you've been using, but you don't need it. You can just have your hips flat onto the floor. And let me show you. Find a little wall space. And you need both sitting bones against the wall in this curled up position before you lift your legs. So you get your sit bones in close against the wall. If that doesn't work in your body, just be out as far as you need. So check that your shoulder blades don't hunch your shoulders, so walk them down towards your back waist. Be as symmetrical as you can and let your back settle. If you don't like the feeling of the blanket, of course, take it down. And stay here for as long as you like, maybe 25, 30 breaths. Letting go. Letting go. When you're ready to come out of the posture, you bend in your legs and roll to your right side. And come up to comfortable sitting. Feeling your spine long, mobile, easeful. Namaste.